You watching on here or on YouTube? Alright, I'm not gonna mute then. Alright. What's going on, team? What's going on, team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session for August 25th, 2025. Hope everyone had a. Whoa, I hear echo on myself. Why? Oh, there you go. Gonna give everybody another minute. Whoa, it's already 7:10, so we'll get started. Well, I should give everybody another minute. We'll give everybody another minute. We'll be nice. Alright, so we'll get started with AU. Again, guys, it's pretty much gonna be the same examples and the same position that we were in yesterday's session, same position that we've been in since Monday's session, since Friday's session. A lot of these pairs are trading in the exact same areas as before. So I'm gonna do this one quick. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. Yeah, what's good, Muhammad? Speed it up. Oh, just for you, I'm gonna slow it down. Actually, I'll give her another minute. Now we'll get started. I gave everybody another a good 10 minutes. I literally just turned the stream on. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, it's gonna be a pretty quick session. I'm not gonna do like full breakdowns again. Everything that I talked about this entire week is pretty much the same across the board. You know, we could literally go down these pairs one by one, and you guys will see that we're trading in the exact same spots, right? So AU, we know we're still trading counter trends. So again, I'm not even gonna mess with this. It's doing exactly what it needs to do. It's giving us a higher pullback, giving us a steeper lower high position, right? So once we get to that lower high position, that's when we'll start trading. AUD CAD is still in the zone of consolidation, so again, there's nothing to trade here. Waiting for price to start trending. Once we start trending, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. EA is still moving counter trend, right? We're looking for price to give us that third week high, but understanding that the daily time frame gave us an inducement of these highs. Even though on the 4-hour we did get a valid break, we wanted to see that break on the daily time frame. We also had a change of character to the downside. After the change of character today, price ended up giving us a valid break of structure. So again, this is a pair that currently is trading counter trend. So we're just going to be patient with it. Nothing more, nothing less. We're trading between that 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows over here. EuroCAD, we're in peak high territory, so I will not be trading EuroCAD. Once we start turning around, or once price tells us exactly what it wants to do at these highs, if it gives us a valid break, right, once we start downtrending, get a change of character, break of structure on every single time frame, the daily, the 4 hour, and 30 minute, that's when I'll start trading it. But right now, again, price is moving exactly how it needs to move. It gave us a change of character to the downside. It gave us a break of structure to the downside. We had 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks of rise, we know that this week the market was either going to push down or move sideways, and we're pushing down. So again, price is doing exactly what it needs to do. But we need to get away from this peak high territory before I start taking trades. We had the change of character, lower low. Price gave us a lower high. Then price came down today, gave us another lower low, break of structure to the downside. What's good, Mr. Albert? Euro USD, we're still stuck in the zone of consolidation. Price came back down, right? At one point, we were trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price then went down and gave us a change of character, lower low. Then price came up, gave us another change of character, higher high. Then price came back down again and gave us another change of character, inducement to the bottom, lower low. So once again, just going to be patient. This is the area now where we want to start looking to potentially take trades, right? We know that we're trading between this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows over here. And we have a day of drop. Would have been nice to have 2 days of rise. Let's check the daily, 4 hours, see if we have any engulfing candles. Nothing on the daily, nothing on the 4, nothing on the 1 hour, nothing on the 30. On the 15-minute, it was close, but no engulfing candle. No engulfing candle here. Right, it did give us a 15-minute engulfing at 6:45 once STP was already hit for the day. So it gave us a late entry, but it's all good. Again, this is just price consolidating, rejecting lows, going back highs, rejecting highs, going back lows. So if we could catch a trade here at the bottoms to go back to the top side, then perfect. That's what we'll be keeping an eye on. So Euro USD is one for our watch list to keep an eye on. Again, just to give us another push to the top side to continue to bounce off of this zone of consolidation that we're currently in. So gonna keep an eye on EU. GA, we are in peak high territory. Right, so GA I'm not going to be trading. We'll just keep this updated. Right, so on the 30-minute, we know we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us a lower low, lower high, and then gave us another lower low. We still don't have a valid break of these lows, so I'm not going to update our 30-minute highs and lows just yet. We have 2 days where price has just been moving sideways. We'll skip it, go to the next one. GCAD, we know that we're stuck on a daily and 4-hour time frame zone consolidation where price has been rejecting these highs and rejecting lows for the last couple months. Nothing really on the 4-hour, 30-minute time frame. Price gave us a change of character, lower low. Then it went up, gave us a change of character, higher high. Then it came back down for today and gave us another change of character back down to the lower low. So we know that we're trading between these 30-minute highs up here. Let's just extend this to the right a little bit. And we're trading between these 30-minute lows over here. We have a day of drop. So GCAD gonna be patient. GJ, price has just been moving sideways for the last couple weeks. This is gonna be another one that we're just gonna skip over. Gonna continue to update it, but I'm not looking to trade. Once we get out of the zone of consolidation, that's when I'll start trading. So GJ going to be patient. GU, very different than EU, right? GU hasn't reached their 30 minutes lows just yet, but we can see price pushing up. Again, the easiest trade for GU, which is going to be, again, a little similar to EU, It's going to be once price gives us a valid break of these highs. Right? We got the change of character, lower low, lower low, higher high change of character, higher low. If price could come up and give us another break of structure, higher high, that's when I'll start trading. So could we potentially get an entry for this week on GU? Maybe. We're already going into Thursday. We only have technically a day and a half left of trading before the weekend, before next week. So we'll be patient with it. What I do like about GU is we do have 2 days of rise. However, we could already see that as soon as the market opened for today's market session, price is already at these highs. So gonna mark it up just in case price hasn't hit it. If price wants to give us a pullback, Asia London session and then give us this push during the NYC, then perfect. We know we could continue to see price push up going into tomorrow. Would like to see a pullback. Would like to see a pullback. Let's check the higher time frames going into the lower time frames, see if we have any engulfing candles. Right, no engulfing candles here, no engulfing candles here, no engulfing candles at the bottom. On the 5-minute, no engulfing candles. We're just stuck in the zone of consolidation. Nothing. So, gonna be patient with GU. NZD USD gave us the beautiful entries yesterday that we were looking for. Right, we even talked about it in the isolation session. Gave us 2 beautiful entry points. Right, the first one was after the change of character back into the 15-minute engulfing. The second entry was after the 1-minute change of character, break of structure retest. On the retest, we had a 5-minute engulfing candle. We also had to bounce off the 50 EMA straight down into STP for the day. Right, so again, we know that for this week, we are expecting price to give us a 3rd week low. We still have time for price to give us that 3rd week low as well. So, gonna be patient with this one. It's definitely one on my watch list to continue to look for these pushes back down to the bottom. So again, same thing we did yesterday and same thing that we did on Monday going into Tuesday, right? Or I'm sorry, same thing we did last night. Once we see how price reacts to these highs, if we start getting these downtrend pushes, then perfect. We know we could go right back down to the bottom, right? And again, we still have all of all of Thursday and we have all of Friday to continue to look for these trades going back down to the bottom. So, gonna be patient with NZD USD. We'll come back to it. If we see something simple, as a matter of fact, let's look at it in a higher time frame as well. No engulfing candles anywhere just yet. So just have to be patient with this. Let price move. Once price moves, we take the trade. We can get into the trade earlier. Again, for the last 2 days, you guys have seen how effective STP is, right? If you're holding after STP trying to get a home run all the way back down to that 3rd week low, you know price is going to reverse on you. You know it's going to reverse on you. Always calculate STP, always target STP, especially if STP comes first before your point of interest, right? So just be patient with NU. If it decides to give us that 3rd week low, then perfect. If not, then it's all good, man. Price for US 30 gave us 2 days of rise, but once again, with US 30 very similar to GCAD and very similar to EA, we're in peak high territory, where price has given us an inducement of the daily high, didn't give us a valid break, hasn't given us a valid break on the 4-hour highs, it was just an inducement candle. We have 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks, the market must move sideways or go down, and right now we're still technically moving sideways. Right, sideways movement is when price, for example, the opening price for Sunday, give me 1 second. The opening price for Sunday for this week, if price closes in the same area, that's a no now. So price is doing exactly what it needs to do. Right, so this little 372 that we have for today, we could already see as well that as soon as the market opened, it came up, gave us that new high. So I'm really not expecting price to continue. Right, we're looking at this morning, we're like, oh, could this be a little type 1 pattern? It could still be a type 1 pattern. Right, what we were really looking for was for price to start turning around, because on the 1 minute, price was still giving us higher highs and higher lows, technically speaking. Right, it gave us this high, gave us this higher low, gave us the break, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then this is where price started turning around. We got a change of character, lower low, that happened here. right? Boom, lower low, change of character. So we know that we're trading between this high and this low. The easiest trade is going to be when price gives us a break retest to continue the push right back down to the bottom. Right? We'll have a long way to go to STP for US30. So if that's what price decides to want to do, then perfect. Once again, we will just have to be patient. Let's look at the higher time frame, see if we have any engulfing candles. Would have been a real nice 4-hour engulfing candle here. Pretty big area though, so it wouldn't have been that good. Nothing on the 1 hour, nothing on the 30 minute, nothing on the 15. Right, this red candle doesn't have a bottom wick, and it opened with a gap, so not a valid engulfing candle. And then the 5 minute, once again, very similar to the 1 minute when we're looking at structure, higher high, lower low, change of character, lower high, and we're looking for that break. So no engulfing candles either. Right, even if we say, oh nope, this is a doji candle and that red candle does not have a bottom wick, so no valid engulfing candles on US30 for right now. What's good, Mr. Adrian? Good evening, my brother. So going to be patient with US30. Once we get those breaks, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. So for right now, just going to be patient. USD CAD, I'm not trading it. Right, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation, but on top of the fact that we're also stuck in a zone of consolidation, we're currently in a situation where we don't know if price wants to continue the uptrend push, right, overall in the complete overall market makers pattern, or if we started that downtrend push, right? Are we in A1, which is the first zone of consolidation, or is this going to be a trend continuation of higher high, higher low, higher high, this is the higher low, to continue back to the higher highs? Remember what I said yesterday. They are making it easy for us at least, right? We know we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. So if price just rejects these highs, then we know we're going to go right back down to the bottom. Vice versa, if price breaks these highs, then we know we're going to continue a push back to the top side. So just got to be patient with USD CAD. I'll wait for price to pretty much let us know what it wants to do. Once price lets us know what it wants to do, then I'll start taking those trades. I'm in no rush to get into these areas, right? And then for the last 3 days, we've been moving sideways up until pretty much midday session for today, where price just plummeted back down to the bottom. So technically speaking, we are still looking like price wants to downtrend, right? But on the other hand, a pair that usually correlates the same to USD CAD, which is USD ZAR, is moving completely opposite, is doing the exact opposite, which is rare. It's not something that usually happens. Right, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us a change of character back to the top side, gave us a nice little higher high. So once again, a change of character isn't an indication to start looking for buy positions, right? Once a change of character is made, you want to wait for a break of structure to happen right after. So for USD ZAR, we'll just be patient. We'll wait for price to give us the break of structure. Once we get the break of the highs, then I'll start looking to take those trades. But for right now, just going to be patient. Once we get the break, then I'll start looking to take the trades. All right, we're trading between this 30-minute high and 30-minute low. Gold is another pair that I'm currently not keeping an eye on. I'm not trading it. Right, I'm keeping it updated. Gonna keep it updated, obviously, but I'm not going to be trading it. The reason why, overall time frame, we're in peak high territory. Daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, we're stuck in the zone of consolidation. So I'm not going to be trading it, right? Go to the daily time frame. Where are we? Just in the zone of consolidation. So gonna let gold. There's another one that I'm just gonna let price do what it has to do. I'm in no rush to take these trades on gold. I have no interest in trading gold either, right? And then when we're speaking, well, where's your 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows? That's another thing. On the 30-minute time frame, we're also just moving sideways. We know that we're trading between these 30-minute highs up here and these 30-minute lows down here. So again, gold is a pair that I'm not going to be trading. For Bitcoin, this is also another pair that I'm currently not trading. So we're just going to, we can't update it just yet. We have 30 minutes left. We'll update this tomorrow morning. Still trading between our previous lower lows and lower highs. right? And then again, overall time frame, when we go to the daily, we know that we're in peak high territory, right? We could be trading between the previous higher high, higher low, higher high. This could still be a higher low to continue. I find this so hard to understand change of character when price did not completely break. Okay, Albert, a change of character, once again, it doesn't have to be a complete break, right? A change of character could just be a wick. A change of character could just be a body closing underneath. The break of structure is what needs to be completely broken. I've sent you this message before. I know we've talked about it. Right? So again, a change of character, it could be a wick, it could just be a body closure. A change of character could be a valid break as well. The break of structure is what wouldn't be valid if you don't get the candlesticks closing above. That's the only difference. The change of character, it could be anything. It could be the wick, it could be the body. The break of structure cannot just be the wick. The break of structure has to be the candlesticks closing above. And we could go again through every other, we could go through every other pair real quick, just so you could see. Right? So let's go one by one so you could see the change of character. Right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, boom, change of character, lower low. This variation of the change of character, it did give you a valid break because price just continued the trend to the bottom side. But that doesn't mean that this is a break of structure. No, this is still a change of character. We still need to see price break below these lows down here before we could continue the break. Even on the 4 hour. Right, if you go to the 4 hour, and I'm going to go through every single pair for you real quick. Right, on the 4 hour time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high until here, boom, change of character. Right, did we get a clean break? Yes, but again, just because we got a clean break doesn't mean it's a break. It's just a change of character. The break of structure, notice how here, I'm not going to mark this as lower low, lower high, lower low because price never gave us a valid break of structure. Right? Let's go to AUD-CAD. Does AUD-CAD have it? AUD-CAD doesn't have anything. Okay. I'll go through these one by one so you could just see. I don't know how you could find it as a problem, Albert. To be honest, it's really not that difficult. Like, look, Euro AUD, higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave you a change of character, lower low. Right? This wasn't a clean break. It was just the candles closing below it. Right? Gave you lower low, lower high, and now it gave you a break of structure, lower low. A clean break of structure, a valid break of structure. This red candle here gave you the valid break. Right? So the change of character could be the wick. The change of character could just be the body closure. The break of structure is what you really want to focus on. The break of structure after the change of character, that's what needs to close below. Right? Let's go to EURUSD. Same thing. Higher high, higher low, higher high, boom, change of character, lower low. The change of character at this point, yes, it gave you a valid break. Perfect. Lower low, lower high, boom, lower low. After the change of character, you're looking for the break of structure. You got the break of structure. Euro USD. Right, Euro USD, this is where price is consolidating. You have higher high, higher low, higher high, then price came down and gave you a change of character, lower low. Right, because it closed below. It gave you a trend trend shift. It changed the trend. Right, after the change of character, lower low, it came up and gave you a change of character, higher high. Again, it was not a valid break, right? But again, the body closed above is a change of character. Then price came back down after this higher high, and it came down and gave you a lower low. Same thing. It's not a valid break, but you had the body closures. You had the wicks. It's a change of character. Right? Right? Let me know if that's making sense. Same thing here for GA. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave you a change of character. Lower low, lower high. I'm not going to mark this as lower low, lower high, lower low, because on the break of structure, you never had a valid break. These are all just testing candles. So I'm not going to mark this as lower low, lower high, lower low. I'm not going to change it yet. Right? It's the same thing across the board. Is again, like, it's really not that difficult. Right? At one point, you had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave you a change of character, lower low. Price came up, gave you a change of character, higher high. right? Then price came down and consolidated for a little bit, and then came down and gave you a change of character, lower low again. So we know that we're trading between these highs and these lows, right? It's the same thing with every single pair, right? GJ doesn't have any just yet. GU, lower low, lower high, boom. All of this is part of the same trend, right? All of this is part of the same trend, lower low. Then price came up and gave you a change of character, higher high. Perfect. You know you're trading between these highs and these lows. NZD USD, right? NZD USD, we don't have any. We're still lower low, lower high on that. US 30, same thing. We're still higher high, higher low. USD CAD, same thing. We're trading in a big zone. USD CAD, right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price came up and gave you a change of character, higher high, because it closed above the change of character. It closed above, right? It went above the previous highs, gave you a change of character, right? The gold doesn't have any 30-minute structure. Bitcoin, right? We've been downtrending, so this doesn't have it, right? Lower low, lower high, all the way down, lower low, right? And Bitcoin, we said we'll wait till tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know what makes it difficult for you to see that, right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Price came down, gave us a lower low, right? And then it came up and gave us a change of character, right? Because again, lower low, lower high, lower low. It gave you a change of character, higher high, higher low, right? But again, just because you have a change of character does not mean, oh, this is the shift of the trend. We're gonna start uptrending now. No, after a change of character, you want to see the valid break of structure, right? And oil is one of those pairs that I am expecting a steeper pullback for price to tap into this 4-hour engulfing candle to then start that downtrend push. So gonna be patient with US oil just for a little bit longer, and then we'll go on from there. Once we got that pullback, then we'll start trading. But that's pretty much it, guys. Again, for right now, for pretty much the rest of this week, I'm not really looking at anything. What pair was it that I said I was looking at? I already forgot. I should have written it down. Euro USD, right? Euro USD is the one pair I want to keep an eye on, and then obviously for the rest of the week, I want to continue to look at NZD USD as well to continue to target these third week lows. So we've been good for the last 2 days. We've been able to take some trades, which is perfect, right? But at the end of the day, our point of interest that I want to see price reach is this third week low. So we'll see how price reacts at these highs. If we do the same thing we did yesterday, if we do the same thing we did before yesterday, then we'll look for these entries again on NZD USD. Thanks, brother. Glad your cold has gotten better. Thank you, Albert. I appreciate it. But Albert, let me know any questions. Like, if you have any questions about that change of character, let me know. Like, I'll try to explain it another way, but I don't. There really is no easier way to explain it. Like, if price is making higher high, higher low, right? And then all of a sudden it gives you a push down to the bottom, this is still considered a change of character. Regardless of what it is that gave you the push, regardless if it was a wick, if it's just one body closure, it's a change of character, right? You got the lower high, then price gives you a lower low. This is where you're looking for that valid break. To give you the break of structure, to then give you the retest, that's where you look to take that entry to continue back down to the bottom. But anybody else in the chat have any questions? Let me know, guys. Anything at all? Any pairs, any specific pairs you want me to go over? Anything you want me to explain again? Let me know. If not, we'll be done for tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session at 7 a.m. All good, bro. Great session. Thank you, Muhammad. See you tomorrow, my brother. Good night, brother. Good night, Albert. All good. All right, Mr. Adrian and everybody else. Hope you all have a good rest of your night. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Peace out.